Hello, I'm Xno and this is Cosmoteer PvP highlights. And yes, I finally decided to speak out loud. For two reasons. Firstly, my English may be very bad. It's not as horrible as I claim, but I do want to improve it. And what better way to improve my English than speaking out loud? And try to comment on Cosmoteer matches. That is a really hard task to do for me. And the second reason is because I think that the doing commenting and Cosmoteer PvP and YouTube in general is very not meant for text, because text is quite boring and tedious to read, and it's especially not something you will expect to see on YouTube. You will not expect to read an essay on YouTube, so that's why I wanted to have a voice off, since I started the channel. So, Mengbin is fighting their giggled Moss X15 with his Aether Rock. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the names right, but I hope I do. Their Geckige appears to be playing a ship that is designed specifically against Tiberials, which is the archetype Mengbin is currently using. And as you can see, it has a very round shape and a lot of armor a bit everywhere. It's interesting that Mengbin is his 5th opponent, I think, in a row, if I recall correctly. We had a bunch of players being like, hey, you have a big looking ship, I want to destroy it with my Tiberial, and we absolutely all failed. So it's really good at this task. So now Mengbin is carrying a lot of weight as we put a lot of faith in him as a last standing player. And their Giggled has a very sweet arsenal. As you can see, he's firing mines everywhere, and he has a lot of nukes. And nukes are especially good against Tiberials because this specific design in particular, is that it's an armored Tiberial, is very slow because it heals tractor's beams as its main movement abilities, because a Tiberial does not need to move if you can move the opponent instead. And nukes and Cosmoteer are especially good against targets that are very slow, because basically the only way to minimize damage you take from nukes is not to get hit by nukes. So the entire balance our nukes is revolved around making them being dodgeable by decently fast ships. So you are not supposed to tank nukes, you're not supposed to shoot down nukes, you are entirely supposed to outrun them or to dodge them. And Mengbin cannot do this in his current state. Usually he has quite a good advantage against nuke ship, because usually nuke ship are equally slow as tractor beam Tiberials are, and being that slow makes them very easily rotatable by the 8 tractor beam Mengbin has. Unfortunately, this is not the case right here, because like I said before, their Google is using a ship that has a shape and thruster layout that is designed, or may it be intentional or not, that is just a very good design against TBs, tractor's beam in general. So Mengbin has a lot of hard time about rotating him, and he cannot do what he will do with most nuke ships, which is to rotate them upside down and shoot at their rear to destroy the reactor, the control room, or whatever is lying right there. So as dumb as it might sound, their Giggled is actually the one that has the movement advantage right now. He is not affected by the tractor's beams, and he can absolutely affect Mengbin with his nukes or his mines. Well, not his mines, but he can affect him with the nukes at least. So he has a movement advantage. As dumb as it might sound, it's literally two bricks fighting each other. So now we have Mengbin that seems to have done a little progress on his penetrating flank. The control room is just a few shots away from being destroyed, and he still has a very hard time. He lost already 2 of his, I think 6 railguns. That is quite a lot on firepower, and he just lost 2 more, so that's really bad for him. The less railgun he has, the less ammo he has, and the less DPS he can do each time he can send a shot in his very tight angle. But eventually he might have enough ammo to penetrate through the flank and to destroy this one control room. It's worth noting that Geckige does not have the control points to run a single control room, so he will have to disable some of his thrusters or some of his nukes, so that should make Mengbin's life much easier to destroy even a single one of the control rooms. But for now he has a lot of struggles still to turn him around. He seems to have a little bit understood how the patterns work, so he has easier time than he had earlier. And now he has almost straight pass to the control room, but as you can see he missed. It's very common for TBRLs to miss because players does not target, like it's very hard to target railguns as much as it might look otherwise. It's a really hard task to do. Usually players target not the parts they want to shoot, but parts that is much closer to them, such as targeting the armor, because you want to fire in the hull and not at the parts you want to shoot at. You want to fire in the hull you already dig through, and that's why it's hard to target railguns in particular. It's because you need to fire twice at the same spot and not twice at the same thing, because if you have a different angle you might fire at some armor. So now he destroyed the control room, and it is very good. As you can see, Geckige stopped his thrusters, so he had time to disable them, and he is a bit dead in the water for a few seconds before he activates back the thrusters, and there's a big lag spike that does not come from the recording, that came from the game itself that happened, because I'm playing back the game using a Cosmoteer recording system. So this is not live, absolutely not live. It's a recording that was recorded by the game itself. That is usually made for the developers, for them to patch bugs and everything, but I also exploit it to make YouTube videos. And now Geckige seems to have a lot of trouble to enable back his thrusters. He might not have done proper keybinds to disable a part of each ship, so he has to do it manually, and that is painfully long. But fortunately for him, he has a lot of armor and a very annoying shape and a very annoying armor layout that makes it very hard for Mengbin to shoot at him, even if he is static. And it's also because he lost nearly a half of his railguns for now, so he has a lot of trouble to penetrate the armor, even more than he used to. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Mengbin ran out of ammo. So he does not have any more ammo in his launchers, so he cannot fire anymore, which means that he's basically dead. So that's a win for Geckige, I guess. Mengbin will probably have to forfeit, like I just did right here. And as you can see, he did run out of ammo. And he had a pretty good fight, but unfortunately the break won. So congrats on everyone.